Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus, and in this show, we're going to talk a little bit about some combinations that the Vikings do end up sticking and picking at pick 11 and 23. Five scenarios, five combinations that are could happen if they actually go that route and stick and pick. Before we get in that, this video is brought to you by Happy Nuts. We'll be giving away a Happy Nuts package for your package during our live tailgate show on draft night. Also, there'll be links in the description for some fantastic products from Happy Nuts, like the Comfort Powder. Put that on your thighs to stop some chafing. And also, look at this, the Ballber Pro, strong enough to get through the thickest of pubic veins. All right, again, links will be in the description, and we'll be giving away a package on draft night. All right, let's talk about some combinations for the Vikings. If they do stick and pick at 11 and 23, I put these together from like least likely to most likely to happen. I've also given them each kind of a name and a theme. But let me just start this off right now by saying I don't think the Vikings will make 2 first-round picks. I think they are going to trade up. I know there's some recent rumblings. It sounds like it's going to be very hard to get any higher than pick 4. But there's also rumors that have been kind of leading to this being more likely to happen. Like Alec Lewis reporting that the Vikings' chances of sticking and picking are higher than fans believe. And then we also just sent a contingency out to Seattle to look at Michael Penix Jr. So, I mean, those kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to discuss it. I don't think it's going to happen, but shit, let's talk about it. Let's go with the super gross one. This is called the super gross one. Pick 11, the Vikings go Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson. And then at 23, quarterback Bo Nix from Oregon. This would piss a lot of people off. Nothing against Nate Wiggins. I would just like him to be a little bit heavier. He's just so damn skinny. But you want a guy to lock a guy down. Nate Wiggins is your man. Go cover him, shut him down. He can do that. He's super fast. But again, he's just so damn skinny. It makes me a little bit nervous. Bo Nix, the quarterback from Oregon, he just seems to be very polarizing. Denver seems to be locked into him at this point. Hopefully they take him. But Vikings sit and wait, and 23 rolls around. They need a quarterback. They may pull the trigger on Bo Nix, and I'm okay with Bo Nix. I don't love him at 23. I'd rather get him in the second round. Maybe you can trade down and get him a little bit later. But that's the super gross one. 11 and 23. That's the way Vikings ended April 25th. I think there'd be a lot of unhappy Vikings fans, and Twitter might just actually explode. The next one, we call this one the top at their positions one, the top at their positions scenario. That's where the Vikings stick and pick, and they can choose the best player at a couple of positions. Number one would be cornerback. Again, Quinion Mitchell, corner from Toledo. He's kind of risen up to become the top cornerback in this draft. He can do it all. He's got the speed, coverage skills, ball skills. I think he's most people's CB1 on their draft boards. Maybe Terry Arnold snuck in there on a few. Maybe Nate Wiggins has a few on a couple. But Quinion Mitchell, I think, is the overall number one consensus corner in this draft. And then at pick 23, come back, you get Jackson Powers Johnson, JPJ, the center from Oregon. Big, powerful. Onebar special has been clamoring for a guard who can anchor, a guard who can blow people off their ass. Not these athletic types that the Vikings have been rolling with. JPJ is that guy. Physical, big. Again, this wouldn't be super sexy, but it really would fill 2 huge needs. I mean, cornerback isn't a huge need, but Shaq Griffin's only here for a year. Byron Murphy, who knows how much longer he's going to be here. Getting a young guy like Quinion Mitchell, who could be a true lockdown corner, wouldn't be horrible. And then Jackson Powers Johnson would be your long-term center. So 2 starters anyway, eventually with that one. That's the top of their positions choice. Not my favorite. Again, I don't think you'd be a lot of excited Vikings fans if that's the way it shook out. The next one is called the Lucky Duck. The Lucky Duck. This one, the Vikings just sit at 11 and J.J. McCarthy falls in their laps. I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think he gets by 6. I also worry about the Raiders and the Broncos trading up to get him. But there is plenty of mocks for the Vikings. Bucky Brooks did a mock. 11, Drake May was sitting there, and they took him. So, and if the Vikings truly are like Michael Penix, they may be willing to sit and wait and see how the draft board unfolds. But so this is a lucky duck. J.J. McCarthy falls into their laps. A lot of people love J.J. McCarthy. A lot of people don't like J.J. McCarthy. There's pros and cons on both sides of the argument. I think we've already talked about those at nauseum. So let's just say J.J. McCarthy falls at 11. Okay. And then 23, who do you get? Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA, explosive, quick, a technician. He's a lot of people's who follow the draft closer than we do. Number 1 edge rusher in this class. He's not mine, but get him at 23. That's a huge value. Put him in the rotation with Van Ginkel, Grenard. That's a nice little threesome there who can get after the quarterback. So Latu at 23, J.J. McCarthy at 11 is your lucky duck combination. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is a defensive panty dropper. Hell yes. This is Jared Verse at 11. Boom. One of my favorite players in this draft. Explosive, power, production. It's all there. Jared Verse is going to be fantastic. Get him at 11, and he followed up at 23. Johnny frickin' Newton, Jazir Newton, the stout defensive tackle from Illinois. Again, maybe not the ideal fit for the Vikings with a 3-4 front. Everybody sees him more as a 3-tech in a 4-3, but he can penetrate. Great get off, just like the Lupagus. And he can get after the quarterback. So can he play end, move him inside in forward-man situations? Yeah, I think it'll work. He's more of a piece, but he would be a nice piece for the Vikings. So that is Jared versus Johnny Newton. I mean, you're really improving your defense with those two if you stick and pick 11, 23 and end up with those. It's hard to be upset. Yes, there's no quarterback. That would be disappointing, but you know what? You move on. You get your quarterback some other way. And then it got number 1. This is the likely scenario if the Vikings do stick and pick. I think this is the way it goes. 11, I think it's Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle from Texas. He can be the dog that we need on the front line. We don't have him right now. We have Harrison Phillips. We got Jerry Tillery. We got Jonah Williams. We got Jonathan Bullard. We got a bunch of dudes. We got a bunch of guys. We need a dog. We need someone who's feisty, someone who's aggressive, someone who can get after the quarterback and take over games, create interior pressure on his own. Byron Murphy's the guy who can do that. And I think you get him at 11. I don't think you sit and wait. I don't think he makes it 23. And then at 23, you take Michael Penix Jr. I think he makes it 23. I know there's a lot of buzz on him right now, shooting up the boards, but I think you can wait. I think he'll get there. I think he'll get to 23. There's some question marks. The health is definitely the big one. The lack of touch on his passes is another. But 11, Byron Murphy. 23, Michael Penix. You're filling 2 huge needs here. You're getting your quarterback of the future at 23, Michael Penix, who I do love. I mean, he can sling the fucking football. He will throw that thing down the field. He's got a big old set of balls on him. Not afraid to sling it. Sometimes he slings it too hard. Sometimes he had a really good O-line at Washington. When he's under pressure, he doesn't do as well. So those things have to get adjusted, but every quarterback has issues. But Byron Murphy, I love him. I really do. I think he's just a game changer type of player. Is 11 too early? I don't know. I don't think he gets too much later down the board. I don't know if he gets to 20. So that is the likely option. Again, will the Vikings stick and pick? I would be shocked if they did. I think they're going to pack their jobs and move up, but we'll see what happens. So let me know in the comments, what are your combinations for the Vikings if they stick and pick? Were one of these more tantalizing to you? Don't forget to do some shopping at Happy Nuts, and also keep your skull in your hole.